What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, everybody? So we back with the quad. Man, I'm finna hurry up and get through this so I can take my ass to bed, okay? Um, because this shit is just irritating me right now. But no. So the episode starts off with Bryce. Bryce is having this dream that he is back on the line. He made it. He got his letters and all that stuff, but he really don't. Then we see Eva being waking up by this dude. And it was this black chocolate nigga too. So I'm thinking, oh shit, Eva and Coach then found me hooked up. But that's not what happened. We see Eva also, later talking to her attorney, and we see her assistants in there, and the assistant is going off. She was like, well, didn't you get his records? Where's the dash cam? They always stopping people up in the neighborhood over there for any and everything because they think that anybody that go in there, they trying to sell drugs or buy drugs. Okay. So basically, the lawyer comes up with this guy named Dave Hill who, had a case against the cop, and he was about to go to trial or whatever. It got further along than anybody else complained against him because he has a history of complaints, which they usually always do, until, eventually he dropped the case too. So we trying to figure out who that is, and the lawyer told Eva, don't go over there, don't touch him, leave him alone. Next thing you know, we back in the dorm room. Bryce is sitting there reading Native Son. Mind you, the episode is called Native Son. Please go read Richard Wright, Native Son, okay? Such a good book. And Black Boy. So, while he reading the book, somebody knocking on the door, and it's his dad. His dad gets a phone call or something from his brother telling him that he think that he not fit to be Sigma Mu Kappa. That's the line, that's the fraternity that he was working to get onto and that he got kicked off of. And, Bryce is trying to keep it cool, trying to play it off. It's like, I don't know why bro will tell you that. I'm going to try to get back on. I'm going to try to get my hardest to get in there. Because, of course, he put all this pressure on him, talking about something. You come from a legacy. Your great-grandfather, your grandfather, your brother, me, we all are that. And that's what you're supposed to be. Okay, don't fuck it up. So Cedric was listening outside the door, and he opens up the door, and, of course, the daddy gives him this dirty look. So Cedric is up there like, why the fuck are you trying to be into something that treated you the way that they treated you? And he was like, you just don't get it. You don't care about nobody else and you don't understand where it come from. So, of course, Bryce is coming from a different standpoint than Cedric. And Cedric see how much it means to him. So he keeps on trying to talk to Miles. Miles is on, the campus and, giving out these scholarships or whatever. And with the guy that gets the scholarships to come to the school and all this shit. And he was trying to tell him, put Bryce back on the line. Okay, he a good dude and all that stuff. And it was like, what you gonna do? Just because he was like, Bryce didn't do nothing. It was like, I didn't say he did anything, but it is what it is at this point. So Cedric thought, hey, let me threaten to say that, bitch, if you don't put him back on the line, I'm going to put it out there that the hazing and shit that y'all do. He was like, well, you put that out there, Sigma Mu going to be shut down, ain't no scholarships going to be given out, a whole bunch of people going to lose their way here. Now, you want to be responsible for that? Because at the end of the day, if you do that, ain't none of us going to be on here, and your boy still ain't going to make it. Okay? And I said, well, that's a good thing to look at, hey, which way you going to go with this, okay? Eva goes and she talks to Dave Hill, and he said, he was trying to get to work. He was driving without a license. Well, the license got suspended or some shit like that. And he got pulled over. And this was when he was younger. And so when he got pulled over, he got charged. He had a clean record. He got charged with assault and battery or whatever against a cop because dude hit him first and all he was doing was defending himself. And he was over it. And she was like, so I want you to the same cop did the same thing to me. He assaulted me, he did all this shit, trying to charge me for this, charge me for that. And he was like, look, girl, I'm not finna get involved in that, okay? I gotta be there for my son, and it is what it is. She was like, okay, well, if you change your mind, have your attorney call my attorney. Gave her her card. Next thing you know, he just tore that shit up. Then we see Diamond going through the neighborhood to get to school, and there are police checkpoints pulling over everybody from the school. That is so fucked up, and that is blatant harassment. And so when he gets in there, he's trying to tell her what the fuck is going on, and you need to call the man, get these checkpoints stopped, and all this shit. He just not here for the way that things are being handled, and everything is being brought down and taken out on the students and everybody else that's at the school because she wanted to file this lawsuit against him. And so then we see the students, sitting there, including Mal, talking about what the fuck is going on and what they need to happen and how we can't go to the white kids and all this shit. We can't merge with this school to lose our blackness. Of course, Bo wanted to interject, and I said, "Boo boo, just be quiet, be quiet." Next thing you know, they start talking about the fact that, hey, the spring dance or whatever, holiday or whatever, they trying to cut that out. And it was like, you can't cut that out. This is tradition and all this stuff. And at this point, Cedric walks up and Cedric is like, y'all need to talk to her. Okay, that's what it is. All right. It was like, oh, so you the good boy and all this shit. Basically looking at him like he teaches pet and shit like that. And he was like, well, did you ever look at it from her side? If you want something done, why don't you just go up there and ask the lady? Okay? Text her. It was like, well, how do you get her number? Everybody ain't got her number. It was like, yes, everybody do because she gave it out to everybody. So that's what y'all need to do. And he was like, bitch, I'm finna text right now. He stood up. And Miles was taking note of this. Mind you, back at the football practice, everybody is getting, extra work to do because of the fact that Bojan got into this fight. And not just because the football people got into it because they didn't. It was just because Bojan got into the fight. And so now the whole team is getting punished, okay? And he trying to figure out what to do. Keisha not talking to him. Takesha, is her name Takesha? Whatever the fuck. She not talking to him. Junior come into the room. He pissed off and trying to give him the cold shoulder. Next thing you know, Bojan gets up to go to the store to go get something to make up with his girl. Bitch. He leaving out trying to call her. Them niggas that he got into the fight with, the little bitch, come up there and jumped his ass. And then filmed that shit and uploaded it onto the internet. And instead of Bo just going to the hospital or, filing a charge or whatever, he just come home, he come back to the dorm, and he tried to sleep that shit off. Which, if you ask me, is very dangerous because they was kicking him in the face, they was kicking him in the head, they kicked him in the stomach, they kicked him in the ribs and all that shit. And any one of those moves he could have had, and for him to go to sleep too, he could have had a concussion, probably wouldn't have woke up, if this was real and all that shit. And they be like, just sleep shit off. Don't do that. Y'all get into a bad fight, take y'all asses to the goddamn hospital and get that shit checked out because you could have some bleeding on the brain. You could have some, bleeding internally. Something can puncture something, a broken rib that then punctured a fucking vessel or artery or some shit. You just don't know. All right. But he was fortunate enough to be okay. And then when Junior found out, he was ready to roll. He was ready to just rock. He said, fuck me being mad at your ass. You my homeboy, and ain't nobody finna touch me. He was like, what happened? I got jumped by them little niggas. That's what it reminded me of, for real, like on Baby Boy. But he, the coach had made it a mandatory meeting to go up to, football practice. So, Baby G, Junior went over there. He not even supposed to be there because he don't even have his grades up to par yet. And so he told him he was trying to make an excuse and said that he, slipped in the shower and broke his wrist or some shit like that, sprained his wrist. And then he was like, well, you need to tell him to get his ass back up in here because as long as he breathing, he up and he got 2 feet, he can bring his ass here. They was like, well, fuck it. He got jumped, okay? That's what it is. The whole locker room went from being pissed off at him for having them doing all this extra drills and shit to ready to fucking go in. I said, I likes that. I like that. Coach said, nah, y'all sit y'all asses down, okay? So he go look and see what's going on, and he see how bad it is, and he was trying to tell him, let's go to the ER and all this stuff, and his daddy walked the fuck in. Like, bitch, I said, I cannot stand this racist-ass motherfucker. He was waiting to kick a nigga's ass in a minute, okay? He wanted to kick the coach ass, okay? But he told him, I take care of my goddamn son, all right? Because he wouldn't let him take him to the ER. But after that happened, we get this thing with Eva having this conversation with Dr. Caldwell. Of course, they kicking it at her house. And she was like, I thought you was my friend. So why didn't you tell me that you had signed on with Petaway about this whole, making the building a historic thing? That's what we saw 2 weeks ago, right? The sale of it, they prohibited the sale of it because they declared it historic. And she was like, well, I am your friend, so yes, I should have told you, but, this is what needed to be done. Sometimes you can be wrong, and this is what happened. And so she was just telling her, you my friend, right? I can trust you and all this stuff. Girl, I said don't do it because we already seen the preview of what was going to happen. She fucked around and told her the reason why she was over there at that school, it was her last resort. Nobody else was taking her. She got fired from that other college because she was fucking around with a grad student. And the old girl said, well, why didn't you tell me this in the beginning? Because I didn't think you'd be on my side. She said I wouldn't have. And I said, see, bitch, at least you didn't lie to her face. Next thing you know, we see her and Petaway and Diamond in the office talking about the whole situation with her, and then she gonna say something, that's your friend. And she was like, yeah, it's my friend, but if Eva is not, we'll let this die down a little bit. We're gonna come back to it, and maybe she's not the one to lead this university, and we'll let her go and let her know when the time comes. I said, bitch, so you gonna play into the hands of the all boy club. Okay. So what? You can be the head of it. Is that what you doing? You trying to get her spot? Anyway, we see Diamond. He go into this jazz club, and we see this band up in there. This van. We see this band in there rehearsing, right? I said, bitch, is that Cal? Cal Barker, still doing the jazz shit, playing that sax, that trumpet, doing this thing. We see old girl up there who actually, was she the one that was on there? No, that was somebody else. But she thought somebody was her dick. What? She played Overton's sister, I think. Oh, Living Single too. Either way, she was the lead singer, and then there was this little young boy out of all the older people that was there. It was this young boy named Jazz on the drum, and he had such a little attitude, and I just didn't understand it. He didn't know Diamond from nowhere, and he was just because it was like, why don't you just come in and do something with us? Man, he don't know what I said. It was like, well, if you're a true musician, you can pop in and pop out anytime, and so, his mama used to sing in the band too. And she passed away. I guess she got sick or whatever. And she was like, I should have known that was his daughter. I mean, that was his son. That was old girl's son or whatever. So after that, there's this other performance that's going on. And they actually perform to a packed club. And Cal invites him, Diamond, to come up on stage, and he's on the keyboard, and they doing their thing, and then him and Jazz just start battling each other, and it was just real weird and crazy, like, boy, what are you trying to prove? And of course he told him, you don't do no shit like that, okay? You gotta respect people. He said, fuck out of here. Then next thing you know, Cal coming to his office and telling him that old boy is your son, because he wanted him to mentor him and, get him in shape and all that stuff, because he one hell of a drummer and all that. And I kind of figured that's where it was going when we first heard him on the drums, doing it slowly, doing it by himself. I said, uh-oh, that is your son. Oh, boy said, bitch, my daddy dead, okay? Ain't nothing you can do for me after 26 years. I said, look here, Jazz. He didn't know. He didn't know because the mama didn't tell him either. So you can't really be mad at him like that. I'm pretty sure had he known, he would have had you under his wing, okay? But, of course, I'm pretty sure he going to get over it and try to see it that way soon. Give him a few seconds, let him be mad for a couple of minutes and he'll be all right. So later, after the whole texting thing, Cedric saying the stuff about texting, Eva about what's going on and how you feel. All them students started texting that number, just sending her fucked up shit. They ain't show us, so obviously it was really, really bad. And, after that, she just felt the way, okay? She felt irritated by the whole thing. She went to go get some groceries, and the cop showed up trying to harass her again. And she was trying to get help from another police. They just kept on going. And I just said, this is fucked up. Oh, excuse me. This is fucked up. So she went back over there to Dave and told him, look, he harassed me again, okay? So I really need your help to be on this witness list and all this shit. He didn't say nothing then. But later on, he eventually said, saw her in the parking lot of her, the university where she parks her car at, and said, listen, I wouldn't be a man. I can't be a man. Call myself a man if I sit around and let a woman be mistreated like this. So you can add me to your witness list. And I said, that is great. That is great. He looked like he was out there crying too, like he came to Jesus and he was like, bitch, I got to do this. I got to stand up for my sisters. All right. And so after that happened, of course it get announced on the TV that, there's going to be a case. And they got enough people, more people was coming out against this officer, including Eva, including Dave, and some other people. And so now they're going to charge him with some stuff. They stripping him and all that shit. So, she feel like victory is won. Bitch, the nigga that was with her in the morning, he come out the bathroom, chocolate thing. I said, oh shit, you do what you do. Come to find out he a doctor. And she was like, yeah, I heard, you heard right, they gonna do this to old dude, and this what he deserve or whatever. And it was like, you forgetting one thing, because he said, I'm on call. He was like, you forgetting one thing. He was like, look, Eva, I can't keep on prescribing you this stuff. She was like, I told you I was going to get the stuff fixed out with the pharmacy. Mind you, when the cop came up to her, he was like, I've been doing this job for 15 years and your eyes was glossy. And now I'm starting to think, maybe that motherfucker did too fucking much, but maybe the bitch was on something. Because you over here getting underhand drugs from your damn doctor that you fucking for drugs. God damn, Eva, bitch. What the hell is going on? Okay? So, the end of the episode, Miles had came up to Cedric and was like, Cedric came up to Miles and apologized to the way that he, came at him and, said he was being a little bit disrespectful. He don't know it all. And, just being a man and owning up to his shit and apologizing. And Miles said, you know what? But see, I like the fact that, you trying to get Bryce back on the team. But see, here it is. You the one that take charge. And I like the way that you took charge and handled yourself in that meeting with the students, okay? See, that's what we need on the team. So next thing you know, we see, it was like a little step show. They presenting the new pledges and all this shit. And he was telling, doing a little on the quad, who to step in and all that stuff. And it was like, yo, they doing putting on their little step show. Next thing you know, the little pledges, they said, reveal yourself. Bryce is the first on the line. I said, oh shit, Bryce is back. Bitch, the last one. Who on the line? Cedric. So if it wasn't for Cedric getting on that line, Bryce wouldn't have been there. I said, Bryce, you owe him a lot. And you could tell in his face, Bryce probably feels some type of way. You could tell. But that was basically the episode. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. Bitch, next week, Cedric and Ebony, we already told y'all to Ben make that happen. Did y'all see? Okay, so it's gonna be the little racial tension going on, like black versus white shit going on in the next episode. But when Eva come out there and she was trying to tell them, this is not how it's supposed to be. You saw the little nigga with the fade, and all that shit, in the little camouflage green, whatever the fuck. That was, if you've been watching Catfish for the past couple of seasons, that was the catfish, the bitch that was catfishing the other girl that said she was Bow Wow and she was fucking bitches with a lambskin dildo. Okay? That is her. I said, OMG. Motherfuckers are really coming up these days. Get me on something, okay? When I get this shit situation, call me up and give me a screen test and let me do some commentary on something, alright? Because shit. Everybody coming up these days, and I'm still here. What the fuck, Gina? All right, but that was the episode. Y'all tell me how y'all feel, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.